today's presenter. And I have to admit, I said probably the most wrong thing ever when I met him. I said, "You're very young." But you're all going to think that when he gets up. So a recent graduate of the University of South Carolina, founder and CEO of Flyertap. Please welcome Jimmy Lowery Jr.
How's everyone doing? Good. Awesome, great. It's great to be here today. So as you saw on the slide previously, it said founder and CEO. That is actually in the transitionary phase. There's a business partner of mine who has been with me from the beginning and really, transitioning the titles to actually fit his position and the contribution that he's had to Flyertap. So I am now the co-founder and CEO. I'm Jimmy Lowery Jr. I graduated from the University of South Carolina last year, 2017, and since then I went on to found Flyertap, and I am going to give you a little bit of a background story on how Flyertap got started and where we're at today. So the origin story. So it really starts with a media arts event that I was walking through the media arts hallway at the McMaster building at USC. And I sort of glance over at this bulletin board and I see this poster. And I'm like, okay, this looks interesting. So I start looking through this bulletin board. And one of the things that really stood out to me is that this event was going to have pizza, free pizza. So I was like, okay, this is nice. College student, free pizza, free food is always the way to go. So I take a picture of this poster, this flyer essentially. And I actually go to attend this event. And what was going on is that there were two faculty members who were hosting this event. So when I show up, they were really excited and energetic about people showing up, students, the college community. It's free and open to all. They were having pizza. When I got there, they had actually purchased around 12 boxes of pizza. So they were expecting a huge turnout. They had drinks for everyone, and they were just really going to have, an interesting discussion, just a fun little event. So when we actually go to sit down and watch the movie, I started counting the heads in the room, and I counted 6 people in that room. So these professors, these faculty members had actually purchased all of this pizza, drinks, and just prepared this event, just like 1 Million Cups is prepared, right? So there are people and time and money that goes into preparation for events. And I started to realize, I was like, well, there's something going on here. There's a disconnect between what the professors were expecting versus what the turnout was. And I said, why is that? So I started looking into how they were getting the word out about this event. And what I realized is that they put this poster on a bulletin board within one building on campus. That was the building that they were in. So as a student, you would have to actually be walking through that campus to see this, or walking through that particular building to see this. And not only that, but they also shared it on the department's Facebook page. And this is another common method in which the campus community will use to try to get out word about events, is to go to social media. However, they were getting lost in the clutter. So if students weren't particularly following that Facebook page, they weren't able to see that event. So this sort of spun off this idea in my head that was like, there should be a better way to connect the whole campus community to all of the events on campus, no matter what. And it should be done in a way that's engaging and accessible for everyone, easily. So took this idea and actually presented it to a computer science class, and it was essentially a class project. And it all culminated to what would become Backers and Hackers, and we presented at a demo day, a demonstration day of what we had built. So I worked with 2 developers to actually design and develop the proof of concept of what it could be. And that's sort of a screenshot of what we had built. And we presented at Backers and Hackers, and we did end up winning 3rd place in that competition. So that was just a really exciting moment for us to sort of prove the proof of concept and say, like, hey, maybe we're onto something here. And then after that, what we did is we said, what problem are we really solving? What's this, concept of connecting all of these, the whole campus, and then being able to find and share these events in one place? What are we doing? So that steps us into the problem. So the biggest problem here is going to be a communication disconnect. And what I really mean by this is that the school actually offers around 6 different methods in which they will try to get out information about events and activities happening on campus. However, each of those specific resources is disconnected in the sense that what you find on one, you will not find on the other. what you find on another, you will not find on the other. And this continues throughout all 6 of these different methods. And not only that, but you also start to see that the campus community will run to social media to use social media as a platform to get out these campus-related events. And what we really realize is that these organizations, these departments, students, and everything in between, they use social media as a means to an end, meaning that it happens to offer the social connectivity and the tools that they like and that they're used to, whereas the school resources don't do that for them. And then we also have a community site. Everybody here may be familiar with Eventbrite, but Eventbrite's really used as a registration and ticketing tool. And so what we also started to see is that the campus community, when trying to get out word about events and activities, we're actually going to Eventbrite to do registration and ticketing. So I'll get into that a little bit later. But what this really comes down to is if you are a student or someone on campus who is searching for something to do, there are too many options, and all of your options are disconnected. There are events and activities being shared on Instagram that you will not find anywhere else related to the college. So you would have to scavenge through all of these social media platforms to find all of these different events and activities. So then we also realized that there was a lack of personalization and gratification, meaning that on these school resources, they didn't offer that what's in it for me aspect as students like and how students like to consume content. That's why we crave social media. What's in it for me? If you're sharing something to do, so if you're an organization or if you are a faculty member or you are in a department, or if you are in a department, there's a lack of reach. So through this fragmentation, you get only one specific site allotted to your organization, one specific site where you can share as a department, and so forth and so on. So if you are in an organization you share on social media, you have completely detrimented your reach of how many people you could get to attend that event, because these students are not going to scour through social media to find this. So then that also pulls into the lack of simplicity. Realize that the school resources aren't the most user-friendly, and they also don't offer the proper tools that you need. So the solution's pretty simple. And it's really an event platform and social networking platform together. So a hybrid between what you get with being able to share events, but also what you get with social media, the connectivity. And so what we're doing is we're essentially localizing the events. So we're bringing all the events together in one place. We're engaging students in a way that's social, that they're used to consuming content. And in return, we're going to increase involvement. Now, as a student, if you're looking for something to do, you can find it in one place without having to go to multiple different sources. Product development, so very quickly, I know I'm running out of time and you guys can jump on some questions, but we did develop a product. We have a fully functional site. It's awesome. I wouldn't pat myself on the back for that, but it's awesome. And it's flyertap.com. I can show you in a little bit here, but that is, this was programmed by 2 very amazing developers, very skilled developers, and today. So we launched in August of 2018, this year. We have 10 team members, 4 what I would consider to be our executive team, 2 developers, myself and my business partner, and then we have 6 student ambassadors. So we have students at the University of South Carolina right now talking about what we're doing. They believe in what we're doing, they're dedicated to it, and they want to see it grow, and they want to help students get involved on campus. 150 total users. We have students and even faculty members who have signed up and started using the platform. It's a really exciting breakthrough for us. And over 450 events shared throughout the year. There are around 3,000 events that happen that are related to the university alone. So we're just sort of breaking the mold with 450. And that is my time. So thank you.